I found out my wife was cheating through her fitness tracker. She claimed it was a mistake until I showed her the hotel logs. I filed for divorce, but she refused to let me go. So I walked away. Hello, Reddit I plus here. I never thought I'd catch my wife cheating because of something as mundane as a fitness tracker. But sometimes the truth doesn't arrive with a bang. It pulses quietly, in between heartbeats and footsteps. My name is Eric Donovan. I'm 38, a software consultant, part-time runner, and until recently, a husband. I met Vanessa at a tech conference in Chicago. She was working PR for a firm trying to partner with my company. She was funny, vibrant, always the loudest laugh in the room, the kind of person who could light up any space. We dated for 10 months, moved in together after a year, married a year after that. Things felt right, at least, for a while. Vanessa got me into running. At first, it was her way of getting fit for our honeymoon, but she stuck with it and so did I. We even got matching fitness trackers, part couple goal, part accountability. It became our thing. We'd compare our steps at night, log runs on the app, even compete on calories burned. It was innocent fun, until it wasn't. The first clue. It started small. Vanessa began going on late-night runs. At first, I didn't question it. She said running helped her decompress after long work days, but it didn't sit right. Not because I thought she was cheating, but because it was out of character. Vanessa hated running at night, said it messed with her sleep. She used to tease people who ran in the dark, calling them sneaky joggers. Then came the work trips. She started traveling to New York more, 2-3 times a month, always last-minute conferences or client emergencies. Her company had just landed a major contract, so I chalked it up to the pressure. But the absences piled up. She'd come home exhausted, too tired for intimacy, and oddly distant. Her laughter wasn't as free anymore. It felt forced, like she was performing joy for my benefit. I told myself it was just stress, until one night, curiosity got the better of me. She was away on another business trip. I was home watching TV and my phone pinged. A notification from our fitness tracker app. Vanessa completed a workout. I tapped the app and pulled up the details. My stomach tightened. The workout wasn't a run. It was a high-intensity interval session, recorded around 11:38 p.m., in a hotel, at an address in Manhattan. The data was precise. Heart rate spikes, elevation, GPS pins, duration. She hadn't gone for a run. She had been active, very active, in a hotel room. I knew this because I recognized the pattern. The app even logged the exact floor level through barometric pressure. She was moving in short bursts, like someone pacing. The heart rate data spiked rapidly, plateaued, then dropped suddenly. It wasn't exercise. It was sex. Hotel logs don't lie. I did something I'm not proud of. I opened her laptop when she got home. It wasn't hard. She never changed the password. I searched her recent files. In the downloads folder, I found a PDF receipt for a Marriott in Midtown, the same address from the fitness app. She hadn't even tried to delete it. The receipt showed a 2-night stay, under her name, room service charges, a bottle of wine, and a second guest listed on the check-in log, Derek K. That name hit me like a punch. Derek was her regional VP, her boss. She'd mentioned him a few times casually, said he was all business and a bit intense. I'd even met him once at a corporate dinner. He shook my hand too long and didn't make eye contact with me once. I remember thinking he looked at Vanessa like she was dessert. I printed the hotel logs, the fitness app data, screenshots of text messages I'd recovered through a sync app she didn't know was still running on her iPad. Messages like, "Last night was incredible. I needed that. I miss your hands already. Eric suspects nothing, LOL. I wanted to vomit. The confrontation. I didn't shout when I confronted her. I didn't cry. I waited until she got home from one of her trips and laid everything on the dining table. Before you start, I said, just know I already know the truth. She looked down at the evidence, the hotel receipt, the screenshots, the fitness tracker data, and blinked rapidly. Her lips parted like she was about to lie, but then she went quiet. What is this? She whispered. I didn't answer. She stared at the heart rate chart like it was a murder weapon. It wasn't what it looks like, she said finally. Derek, we just talked. It was emotional. I was lonely. It didn't mean anything. I laughed. She flinched. Vanessa, I said calmly. The tracker logs everything. You weren't exactly discreet. You synced your heartbeat to betrayal. She went pale. I handed her the divorce papers that same night, the divorce games. She didn't take it well. At first, she begged, said she made a mistake, that she still loved me, that she didn't know why she did it. She cried, fell to her knees, said she'd quit her job, go to therapy, anything. But I'd seen her texts. I'd seen her call me boring and soft. I told her I was done. That's when she turned vindictive. She filed a response through her lawyer claiming I had emotionally neglected her. that I was obsessed with work and spied on her. She tried to drag out the process, demanding alimony, half the house, even my stock options. Her lawyer tried to argue that since she supported me while I started my own consulting firm 5 years ago, she was entitled to part of the business. She underestimated me. I had receipts, financial records, documentation showing that I paid off her student loans, I covered our mortgage, and I had started the firm with my severance long before we got married. My lawyer eviscerated her claims, then I dropped the bombshell, the fitness tracker data and hotel logs. Not only did it validate the infidelity, but it destroyed any claim she had for spousal support. Adultery was still taken seriously in our state, especially when the affair directly led to the marriage breakdown. Her lawyer went silent. The court sided with me. She got nothing. No house, no shares, no alimony. She stormed out of the courtroom in tears. She refused to let go. Weeks later, she started reaching out again. At first, it was casual. "Hey, can we talk?" Then it turned to desperation. She left voicemails crying, saying she regretted everything, that Derek had been using her and dumped her for someone younger. I ignored her. She showed up at my condo once, banged on the door at 11 p.m., sobbing. My new girlfriend, a friend I'd known for years who helped me through the divorce, was inside. She saw Vanessa and simply said, "She lost you the second she gambled on someone else." Vanessa screamed that I was heartless, that I gave up on love. I looked her in the eyes and said, "No, I gave up on lies." And so I walked away. I closed the door. That was the last time I ever spoke to her. She made her choices, and so did I. She bet on excitement and power. I bet on loyalty and truth. Her heart betrayed her through data. Mine was broken, but it healed. And as strange as it sounds, I'm grateful for that fitness tracker. Because in the end, it didn't just measure steps or calories. It measured betrayal and led me straight to freedom. It had been 6 months since the divorce was finalized. I was finally sleeping better, eating right, and not flinching every time my phone vibrated. I had moved into a new apartment downtown, minimalist, peaceful, mine. I'd even started seeing someone again, Natalie. We met through mutual friends. She was calm, grounded, nothing like Vanessa. She didn't try to fill a room with noise, she just made you feel safe in it. For the first time in years, I felt like I was building something real. Then the calls started. Not from Vanessa, but from her mother. At first, it was innocent. "Eric, sweetie, it's been a while. How are you?" I nearly hung up the first time, but I was raised to be respectful, so I listened. She talked about how Vanessa was struggling, that she wasn't herself, that she was just lost and made a terrible mistake. She said that Derek had abandoned her 2 weeks after the divorce, that he got what he wanted, then disappeared. "She cries herself to sleep," her mother said. "She talks about you like she still wakes up expecting you to be beside her." I kept my voice even. "Her expectations are her problem." She paused. "Eric, I know what she did was wrong. But haven't you ever made a mistake you wished you could take back?" I smiled bitterly. "Of course. And I did take it back. That's why I divorced her." The Parent Trap days later, her father showed up. He was old school, a man of few words, but when he spoke, it carried weight. He asked if we could talk. I agreed, at a diner near my office. He didn't beat around the bush. "I didn't raise her to do what she did. I'll never defend it. But Eric, marriage is bigger than mistakes. It's about forgiveness, too." I sipped my coffee. "You're right," I said, "but marriage is also about respect. And once that's gone, forgiveness doesn't rebuild the house. It just gives squatters permission to live in the rubble." He looked at me long and hard. "She still loves you." I leaned forward. Then she should have thought of that before she got naked in a Marriott with her boss. That ended the conversation. The setup. The last straw came 2 weeks later. Vanessa's mom invited me to a family dinner. Said it was to honor her husband's birthday and that they'd love for me to stop by. I almost declined, but I thought maybe it would bring closure. Maybe I'd say my final goodbye, and that would be the end of it. I walked in, and there she was, Vanessa, hair curled, dress perfect, makeup done like it was our anniversary, sitting there like a trapped memory. Everyone went quiet. Her mom smiled nervously. I figured if you two saw each other in person, maybe something would click again. Vanessa stood up slowly. "Eric, I'm sorry. For all of it." I stared at her. "You staged a reconciliation dinner?" She nodded, eyes glassy. "I just wanted a chance to explain. I wasn't thinking straight. Derek, it was stupid. I thought he'd give me something you didn't. But the truth is, you were everything." I waited a beat before responding. "You know what the most painful part was?" She looked up, hopeful. "It wasn't the cheating. It was that you called me boring while doing it." Tears welled up. "I didn't mean it." I turned to her parents. "You invited me here under false pretenses. Don't ever do that again." I turned to go, and she grabbed my hand. "Please, Eric, don't throw away everything we had." I looked down at her fingers. the same ones that signed the hotel receipt. I didn't throw it away. You did. I just walked out with what little self-respect I had left. Then I left. I never saw them again. Natalie and I are still together. She knows everything, and she never asked me to forget. Just to heal. She showed me that real love doesn't need to beg or trap you in guilt. A year after the divorce, I ran the New York Marathon. I crossed the finish line with my tracker buzzing on my wrist. Same app, same device. But this time, the heartbeat wasn't betrayal. It was peace.